sound of Berenice's hair drapes the horizon to where is my lucky star tonight? The seventh sister of the Pleiades walks in beauty like the night. Oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Now, John, I keep telling you, not the best, but we are on radio. What can I say? James and Douglas, are you guys still there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, getting back to, I don't know. I just think we just put our noses in other countries, which we should be more worried about our own country and not worry about anything. I will say one thing about Trump that really pisses me off, okay? I'm worried about our grid system. You know, if we got hit with a major solar flare, it would take out our grid system in our country. It means you turn your light switch on or turn your TV or go to the ATM, you're not going to get nothing on any of that. And FEMA has come out and said, I always thought it would be like about 1 to 2 or 3 years at the most we'd be out power. Theirs now stating is if we had a major solar flare, it would take out our grid system between 4 and 10 years before they could get the power up all across the country. For the amount of money we're spending building this wall up, that money could have been used to shore up our grid system. So if we did get hit, you could still go home and watch, Green Acres on your TV, on MeTV. I mean, you can still do things. Without that, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And
does Trump know about that? Maybe you should tell him. Maybe he doesn't know.
Well, he should know, because the thing is, it's been the big thing they found this in the last week alone. Under the wall, they found a tunnel that came from Mexico into the United States. It was big enough to drive a car through. It had air conditioning. It had lighting in it. And that, they just built it underneath the wall. The other thing is, they said for like a $29 tool, you could cut through the wall in a matter of a couple minutes and come through the wall. So, I mean, all this money being spent for the wall, I think that part was more political than anything. He promised that, and he felt he had to deliver it. I just think the money should have gone, one, for our grid system. Two, I don't know your age, but I'm really worried about people on Social Security 10 years from now, if they're even going to have it. I think...
I don't know that. I don't know that much about Social Security. But, one thing about the wall is that I heard that 10,000 underage children are brought across the border every year and made into sex slaves, prostitutes. So for that reason, I think maybe not a wall, but we should stop the illegal immigration. Also, a lot of heroin and fentanyl comes over and ends up killing drug addicts.
Yeah, but again, like this tunnel they just found last week, if it's big enough to drive a car through, I mean, how much drugs could they be bringing into the country that way? I mean, let's face it. I mean, you just don't stop it. You might slow it down, but they'll find other ways to get around it, and then you're right back where it is. And I just rather see the money spent where it needs to be spent. I mean, before you came on, I was saying we shouldn't even be considering going to Mars right now. We shouldn't be doing this other stuff because we got a lot of problems in our country we need to fix now. And not worry about wasting money right now because our technology isn't even there to get us to Mars, really, it's safely, let alone it's a one-way trip.
Oh, yeah. Well, but with the wall also, I think illegal immigrants, they cost us about $30 billion a year in welfare and whatnot. And if you could build the wall for $5 billion, that would financially be good and feasible, right? 'Cause I personally don't think we should let a whole bunch of illegal aliens pour in. I agree with that. If we could do it without a wall, that would be better probably, but I do agree with Trump that we should stop the illegal immigration.
Well, I think we should too, but then who's going to pick our apples and who's going to pick our oranges and cherries and strawberries? I hate to say it, a lot of us, I even told one of my sons a couple years ago, he was sitting there really depressed because he didn't have any money, for gas for his car. And I said, hey, you can go over, there's a little island from us, okay, called Vashon Island. And what it is, it's a whole bunch of strawberry growers there. I said, you can go pick strawberries for a couple of days and you'll have plenty of gas money for a month. I'm not going to pick strawberries. That's the problem. A lot of people in this country don't want to go pick apples. They don't want to go pick peas. They don't want to go out and do that type of labor. And that's, I hate to say it, that's when these immigrants do take jobs that me or you wouldn't take.
Well, I think they should come in legally. I think about 1 million people come in legally, so I think they should come in legally.
I do too. I think it should be. I think it should be. I think that, they should be screened and all that stuff. And how can I say it? I don't want to get into it, but I just feel that no president has up to Trump wanted to touch it because it was a no-win situation. And and we're still in a no-win situation because, again, you can build the wall, but if you can go underneath it and go through it, what good does the wall do? I mean, that's all I'm saying. It's a symbol. That's all it is.
Oh, but about you're saying that we shouldn't get into foreign entanglements. So do you agree with Trump pulling out of Syria? I mean, that's, you're saying, you keep saying that, right?
I don't.
So maybe you agree
I think we should have pulled out a different way. I think what we did is we had agreements, and a lot of people are going to die because of those agreements pulling out. I think it should have been where we gave them a long notice saying, okay, this time next year we're pulling out. Okay?
I see.
Yeah, but to pull out like it did, we've been shoring up, the people have been defending that area, and what's going to happen to them, they're going to get killed now. And we've been supporting them for how many years, and then all of a sudden we just walk away from them. That is the part I don't and did not agree about, and that's why the Pentagon didn't agree with it. All the military leaders said that was a bad move, and it was. It was just a move we shouldn't have done. Now I see we shouldn't be there in the first place. Let's face it, we should never have been there in the first place.
You think he should have taken like another year to do it?
I think he should have told him that we're going to withdraw and withdraw over a period of time, not just sit there and take off. That part.
But he might have
me.
the right idea. Trump is saying we have to end the endless wars, and maybe you might agree with that because you're saying that you don't think we should get entangled overseas. So maybe in this way, his policy is right, in your opinion.
I think his policy is right. Is this the way he acted on it was wrong? Okay, it should have been where we still shored them up for a period of time. And then if they can't handle it on their own, then that's the problem. That's, I don't know. James, what do you think on this one?
Well, yeah, I think definitely if they'd have given him like a timeline, say, this date and a year from now, that would have gave him, warranted him a time to allocate forces and resources to take over when that time come when we left there, because they would have had a date, they would have knew what was going on, they would have prepared, rather than just, hey, we're pulling out here, pull the rug out from under them. That's a big difference, when somebody's got time to prepare for this. But
didn't Trump say it's going to save lives, or he's wrong about that? I think that's what he said.
I don't think it's going to save lives. I think it's going to cost a lot of lives, but they're not our lives. So when it comes to saving lives, it's going to, yes, our troops, yes.
Well, I think he has the right idea about we should end the endless wars. That's what he says. And hopefully he should do it right, though, like you guys say.
Well, I don't think we need to be everywhere. That is we've been a police country for how many years? Since World War II, we have been involved everywhere, from South Africa to all over the African nations, in South America, over the Middle East. I mean, we have spread ourselves so thin that, if anything ever happened, we could not fight a conventional war for a long period of time because we have spread ourselves so thin. That's the scary part.
Yeah. So maybe he wants to bring them home. He wants to bring them boys home. Maybe he's doing the right thing.
Well, another thing, it made a lot of countries around the world hate us because we're like busybodies or considered bullies or getting people, like you say, get involved in stuff maybe we shouldn't. But I think behind that, it's always a dollar somewhere, and that I think that controls the outcome of the decisions to do these things. And
it's a military-industrial complex wanting to build weapons, maybe, So that's part of the deep state. Maybe if Trump isn't listening to them, maybe he's doing the right thing.
I don't know. I just know, like Saddam, we are the ones that put him in power. We kept him in power, and then at the last moment, we said, "Oh well, you know what? We're taking the power away from you," and that's the end of it. And then we weren't even sure what was going to happen after Saddam was arrested. It could have went into the wrong hands. And in fact, if it wasn't, we're still dumping money over there. Huge amounts of money every year.
It's a waste of money, too.
It is. I rather, like I said, how many people do you know that live in a nursing home that are basically living a substandard life? I mean, all this money that this government, I'm not saying Trump, I said this government, Congress, and the Senate puts out to foreign aid and military aid to all these countries, and then we have people in our own country are living on the streets. It makes me sick sometimes to say I'm American. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. It's probably the military-industrial complex controlling the politicians to make money, right? That's the disgusting part of it.
Well, somebody's making money on it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, look at the Noriega and the Contras and the CIA selling drugs to make money. Remember all that in the 80s? I mean, come on. That's going on. That stuff's going on all the time. That just got exposed.
Yeah. Can I ask you what you think about the media, Gary?
Well, I don't trust the media. I
did an interview with Noam Chomsky about that in my book. He's a famous professor. So, and he doesn't think that it's just a matter of corporations own the media, so they're going to always protect the corporate interests. And but my opinion is maybe that it's the Council on Foreign Relations. So many of the big media outlets are run by people who belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, and in that way, I think it might be a conspiracy. But Chomsky thinks it's more corporate control. But I think when we got shows like yours on the internet, we got a better chance of getting at the truth because the media can't be trusted, like you say, right?
I don't think so. James, what do you think?
Listen, the best way to control a population without extinction is through the media. So if you can get in people's brains by the masses, believe me, you can have serious effect and control. If you don't think so, just look back to the people in the 1930s and the 40s in Deutschland. So it does work. So if you can affect people's minds through the media, that's a powerful thing.
That's what the CIA tried to do, right? Did you guys hear about Operation Mockingbird? It's a specific plan the CIA had to influence the media big time. And so I talked to Noam Chomsky about that. He thinks that the CIA still has a lot of influence in the media. And so in that way, we're getting propagandized and we're getting mind controlled. Did you guys ever hear anything about that?
I haven't yet. Your mind control, you hit it on. Do you know the mind control really was perfected in Nazi Germany? The people thought they were winning the war to the last couple months.